Hello and welcome to Late Night Chattin'. It's a special combination of Chattin' with Janine and Late Night with Lenette.
And your hosts are the representative Janine Nodder, and I am the Honorable Lenette Peterson. Today we're doing a combined show to remember and honor our matriarch, our dear friend, the Honorable Nancy Elliott.
Lenette, you came up from Texas.
Yes.
And you had to bring that jacket, I see.
But of course, I can't imagine being on this set without my jacket.
Well, there's a lot of people that have moved into Merrimack since you've moved, and they have not seen this jacket.
Well, they're being blessed today. Nice
That
earrings. Are those real 12 gauge?
Oh yeah, you've noticed those? Yeah. A friend of mine made them, and I was looking for earrings to wear today, and whenever we had a gun raffle, Nancy Elliott always won. And she's like, always wins. So, and I would even, one time I even handed her my raffle money, had her buy the ticket for me. She rubbed it in her hands, and I still lost.
Yeah, I did that several times. And the worst thing is, she never shot the guns she won. She won several guns and never shot them. So wrong, so wrong.
Yeah.
So we have several pictures that we're going to be displaying, and we'll talk about our memories with Nancy.
Well, for those who do not know, never knew Nancy, Nancy was a state representative.
Yeah, she did 3 terms on, representing Merrimack.
And then you were her replacement.
Yeah, not by choice.
And then once she was finished at the State House, she went on to be an advocate against euthanasia, and she traveled the world.
Oh, yeah.
She traveled the world.
Yeah.
She went to a lot of exciting places. We talked about the housing in other countries, and now that we're seeing now all the stack 'em and pack 'em housing, that's what they have over there. Like
right, she went to Ireland, Italy. Canada.
Well, Canada's not very exciting.
No, but she still went there.
Yeah.
But Ireland and Italy are.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, she served on the House Judiciary Committee. She was there for 3 terms. And like I said, she recruited me to be her replacement against my wishes, better judgment. And I was on House Judiciary for 2 terms.
You were the clerk, and I remember you being on an episode of my show with the Honorable Tony Pellegrino, and he patted you and said that this lady works very hard. Yeah. And I remember what you were wearing, probably something similar to what you're wearing now, and
and everything goes with my jacket.
And I remember you saying you'd go home every night with a brain cramp.
Oh, yeah.
It's mentally exhausting being a clerk.
Yeah, and I told Nancy I didn't know anything about judiciary. Well, I had no choice about the committee. She told me it was a done deal. She'd already called Bill O'Brien at the time, Mr. Speaker, and I was put on judiciary. Then she called the Honorable Bob Rowe, who was chairman of judiciary, and told me, Lenette will be your clerk. I said, Nancy, I don't even like lawyers, and I don't know anything about judiciary. And she laughed. She'll do great. You don't have to like them.
One of my favorite movies is "It's a Wonderful Life," and that speech. How when one person's missing from your life, it leaves an awful hole. And I never realized, how all these people in my life are so much a part of my life. And I didn't even realize how much Nancy meant to me. And it was the same thing when we lost our speaker. I didn't realize how much he meant to me until he was gone. Yeah. And at Nancy's wake, I was fine. I walked in, and then I saw her, and then I really, really lost control.
Yes, you did. Justin, how about if we get the first picture up on the screen? Yeah. Oh, this was a fun event. Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann. Nancy hadn't had a picture with her yet, and I took 3 or 4. The first one was always the best picture. Nancy was so photogenic, and then I would mess around and take a few dogs, and always show her the dogs first.
Yeah.
And then laugh and show her the good one.
I remember that. I remember that outfit that Michelle Bachmann is wearing, and she came over and said hello to me, and I'm like, I'm nobody. Hi.
Yeah, and then Nancy took a picture. I said, hey, Nancy, get a picture for me. And I stood with Michelle, and Nancy was not a photographer. My picture was horrible.
Oh, so she had a big overhead. Yeah.
Well, no,
heads at the bottom of the screen.
It wasn't really. It was kind of blurry. Centered. She didn't make sure she could see everything. I don't know what Nancy was looking at, but she wasn't looking at us.
Don't speak ill.
I told her that. Oh, and this was when this was the first election that I wasn't running for office, and my oldest and I were running as delegates Nancy was running as delegates, and she said she was shocked when she saw signs out for
delegate,
because no one put signs out.
No.
But I had to when Sheila was running. So I wanted people to see Sheila, that she was somehow related to me, because I knew I would get some votes, but I wanted...
And some people said, who's Sheila Lenette? I don't know who that is.
And so this was the only picture that I had of Nancy and I. And she was my mentor. Oh my word!
I was wearing your signature purple, Peterson purple,
but
and my signs were green, so mine were Janine Green.
Yeah. Nancy mentored me.
Who's that man?
Yeah, that strange man, my husband. Yeah, that was at the Crown Plaza. We were at another event, and then we went to dinner. There was an event, but it didn't have a dinner. So Nancy and I and Eric and a few others went to dinner there. I got food poisoning at the Crown Plaza.
Oh, wow. When was that? I don't remember.
Well, you weren't at this event. It was a small event Nancy was putting on. There was maybe 20 people.
Well, I'm glad I wasn't there.
Yeah, and we went in and had dinner, and I don't remember what I had, but oh my word, I was sick as a dog that night and the next morning. But that's a good picture. She was so photogenic. Yeah, and there's that jacket's supposed to be purple, but it's showing up blue. That's when she was honored at the end of her term as you got the pin at the end of your term as president with the Federation, correct?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't get one.
You didn't get one?
No.
Yeah, they gave out those pins. It was when you finished your term as the president when she was president of the New Hampshire Federation.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Because I have a picture of Verity with that pin and Christine with her pin.
Well, somebody dropped the ball, but that's okay.
Yeah, they really did.
Yeah. Oh well.
Wow. Okay. Karen Testerman. She ran for governor a couple times.
Many times.
Yeah, and she ran for Congress or Senate, or was it both?
She went all over the. I remember her speech saying that she had to get oil change once a month because she was traveling so many miles all over the state. But that was so many years ago. I don't remember what she was.
I remember she was running. She was going to be primarying Bob Smith, and she dropped out, so Bob Smith would get more of the votes than
was
her.
Later. I think that was later. But
I think that was the same time when Nancy and I had that picture taken together. Karen dropped out, so Bob would hopefully beat.
I don't remember.
One of those women, Porter or.
You know what? When you had your show here on Merrimack TV, Late Night with Lenette always started with a Maggie moment.
Yes. Yes, we had to insult the governor.
You did.
Yes, and there was also a Hillary happening.
Yes, the Hillary happening. I remember that.
Yes.
Look at how young Christine looks. That's her daughter.
Kidding. Yeah, Christine is the middle child. Elizabeth is older.
We go to the same chiropractor, and sometimes we go to the same workshops where we learn how to eat healthy. And her first time on my show, I had just made quinoa cookies, and I handed her, "Would you like a quinoa cookie?" So she took a bite, and
Yeah, I had a lot of pictures of the two of them together. If you saw one, you saw the other. And out of the smile, Nancy's smile was...
So Christine had also been state president of the New Hampshire Federation of Republican Women. Nancy has been president twice. I was president once. All three of us were, and you were president of the Nashua Area Federated Republican Women. Right. But we just say NAFRW and NHFRW.
And I left the state before I could get conned into being the New Hampshire president.
Thanks. Somebody else had to pull that role. Oh, I love that top that she's wearing there.
Yeah, that was a dress. And what happened to Jennifer Horn?
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't even think she's a Republican anymore.
But when she was
awesome.
She was part of our club, and one of my favorite memories is, yes, you were there because you caught me. Our Yankee swaps were epic.
Yes.
Juanita Dangle had, who lives in Merrimack, her prize, her present for the Yankee swap was this thing. And
that globe.
It was hideous. It was a yard decoration, and Jennifer was the first one to get it. And she went, I'm going to put it in my front yard and plant flowers around it. She liked the thing.
Yeah.
So at 3 a.m. there was a heist, and Juanita stole it. and she put it in my yard. I wake up, I'm like, who put that thing in my yard? So I tried putting it in your yard, but your dog snitched on me.
Right.
And you said, oh no, you're not putting that in my yard. So I
my
went
dogs
and put it in
had my
Nancy's
back.
yard. And then a week later, it was stolen from Nancy's yard, and it was put in the yard of someone, another member's. And this went on for weeks. Where
well, no, Nancy went and took it back because Nancy liked it.
Well, it's stolen again. I know it went on for weeks, and it ended up in yards more than once, but we never gave it back to Jennifer Horn because she liked it.
She liked it. And it never came back to my house because my dogs would rat on it.
No, we know you.
Yeah.
We would have to go sometime and if we went in the middle of the night, you would have shot us.
Well, yeah.
Trespassing. Okay, there's a new picture.
Oh, this one. Yeah, she wanted a picture for conferences and workshops. You know how they'll have the keynote speaker's picture?
Oh, they just find them online.
Right. Well, no, Nancy wanted one just for that. So this, again, the first picture was the best. And then, oh my word, I messed around and I would wait till she had her eyes closed or she was yawning.
You do that to everyone.
Yeah, oh my word. And I'd try, hey, Nance, how about this? And I'd get the eye roll and she'd laugh. And oh my word, that laugh of hers was contagious.
You get somebody in mid-sneeze. I mean, you're just...
I'm talented.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, it was hysterical. This picture I love. I
don't think Nancy would love this picture.
I wish I could remember who the speaker was. This was a Merrimack GOP event. And we were at the homestead. And I wish I could remember who was talking. I mean, because both of them to have the same look, like, what on earth are you talking about? And I had several with Nancy like that.
Oh, Pam Tucker.
Yes, this was I didn't see you at this thing. This was outside of the Capitol. There was a bus, and it was for pro-life.
Oh,
and they had a whole list of speakers. Verity Swain spoke.
She moved out of state and came back for the funeral as well.
Right, yeah, and my little buddy Belinda. And I couldn't get a picture of Nancy with her eyes open. And I went over, there was a break, and I went over, I said, Nance, I can't, and she was praying. That's why her eyes were closed. She was praying for all the speakers, and she was praying for there was a lot of protesters there. They had the pink Planned Parenthood signs, and she was praying for them as well as the ladies speaking, that maybe they would touch their hearts and they will.
She was a very prayerful person.
Oh yeah. But yeah, there's the laugh. And this is the same event. You can still see the bus back there. And her smile just, lit up a whole room. And she was very passionate about pro-life issues, euthanasia, very passionate.
Through the face. Thank you.
Yeah, you have tissues on your lap.
No, I was ready to cry, so I just
her smile was just, you couldn't help but smile or laugh when she was laughing. Unfortunately, I have a tape of the episode when she was on my show, and I was watching it earlier this week, and hearing her laugh, you just start laughing.
Those epic Yankee swaps that I was talking about, Nancy always brought something fun and silly.
Yeah.
Or she'd wear a silly headband.
Yep.
Oh, that's a very good picture of Christine. Oh, and Jane Lane.
Jane Lane, yeah. And see, Jane has her pin on as a former president.
I never got one. Oh, well.
And this is when Nancy got hers. This is the same event. And Christine, you probably can't, I think Nancy's flowers are, I don't know if Christine was president before Nancy or after Nancy, but I think Christine has the same pin. How did you not get one?
I don't care. I have enough pins.
Yeah. And I like this one,
Woods.
Phyllis Woods.
Oh, Jane Lane is on the national board for the National Federation of Republican Women. She goes to all of their biennial conventions. Phyllis Woods was our national committee woman.
Yep.
I got to go to my first presidential debate as her guest, and it was over in Hanover. You were there. You were in the green room, I think. And that was the one there was these protesters, and this woman was screaming her head off and saying, "Stay out of my womb!"
Right.
And the Honorable Dan Tamburello said, "I don't want to be in it."
Yes, that was with Senator Rick Santorum. Yes. I was there with his campaign. Yeah, you were with Phyllis.
And people could hear me. People that I know across the country, they heard me. They heard me over the mic.
Oh,
like,
funny.
Good answer. And I'm like, I didn't mean to say that so loud.
Yeah. And there's the Honorable Pam Tucker. Mm-hmm. Yep. Now she was.
That's a good picture, Nancy.
Yeah, she took so many good pictures. Oh my word, I have probably 100 pictures of her, all good. I mean, except for the dogs that I saved. You got to save a few dogs.
When I see you with your camera, a lot of times I do this. So you have a lot of pictures of me doing this because I know. That one time when we went hiking and it started raining and I put a bag over my head and you kept trying to get my picture with a bag over my head.
Well, I did get one. And then I got you with a jacket in front of your face the other day, and then with your scarf around your head.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, that was
Merrimack TV. Look at that.
Yeah, those were. I should have sent more pictures. She usually at any event I went to, I usually made sure I got a picture of Nancy because she was usually at most events. And
What's your favorite Nancy story?
Oh, my favorite. Oh my word, there's so many. Well, we used to do this thing called tubing. Well, you know tubing.
Oh, but we don't do that anymore. Yeah, people don't have the newspaper anymore.
Right. You and I used to tube together.
I still get a paper once a week because I need something to start the fire in the fireplace.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Well, my bird died, but
tubing,
the bird cage.
What tubing is, you need two people. You drive every street in Merrimack, and every time you came to a newspaper tube, you put the political literature, or as I called it, political pollution, in the newspaper tube. And Nancy and I worked on all her campaigns at least once tubing, and we would talk about anything and everything. We knew each other's life stories, and she was still a friend of mine, knowing my life story.
Raised by wolves. I know your life story.
And it was funny. Nancy was raised in a Christian home. I was not. And at one point, Nancy slammed on the brakes.
Is that my pen? Sorry.
No.
We have the same pen.
Well, I actually took it off the dresser of the room I'm in.
Oh, okay. That is my pen.
I'm staying in her house. So anyway, I had been telling about my childhood. Nancy, when I was taking a drink of water, slams on the brakes. And just, oh my word, you were raised by wolves. I start laughing, spit water all over her windshield. I was killing myself laughing. Called my mother and told my mother that evening. She didn't think it was so funny. Yeah. And the madder she got, the funnier I thought it was, and would start laughing.
I know. I met your mother. I said, I want to see the tattoo that goes halfway around. And she's like, Lenette, you told her about my tattoos?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, there's so many Nancy stories. And it was funny, when we first got elected, that first night, Nancy started mentoring and training me. And oh my word, we were on the phone daily.
That's the one I need to talk to.
No, she did the good stuff. I thought of the other stuff on my own. So daily, I mean, I'd get phone calls or we'd see each other. So it's coming up on committee selection. Lenette, what committee are you going to go with? And I said, well, and I already asked. I already said I was going to do.
We already talked about this.
No, we didn't talk about this on here yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had said to Eric that I wanted to do 2 terms, and then I was going to term myself if I got elected twice. So Nancy said, what committee do you want to do?
Oh, okay.
And I said, so I'm going to do 2 terms. I want the first term to be a learning experience. I want to do an easy committee first term and then go to judiciary the second term. And Nancy just shook her head and she just rolled her eyes. She said, Lenette, they're going to consider you an idiot if you go fish and game first. You're doing judiciary. It's a done deal. I've already made the phone call. And I'm like, oh, come on, Nance. Let me ease into it. She said, done deal. Sure enough, judiciary. Then she calls me a few days later. She says, oh, by the way, your chairman, the Honorable Bob Rowe, is going to call you and just say yes. And I said, can I at least know what I'm going to say yes?
She called and gave you your instructions. Just say yes. He's going to call. Yeah. Just say yes.
Just say yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I said, well, can I at least know what I'm saying yes about?
No.
She said, oh, certainly. You're going to be the House clerk, the judiciary clerk. I'm like, oh my word, Nance. No. I said, I don't even like lawyers. I don't know anything about judiciary. She says, don't worry about it. You'll learn. And you don't need to like them.
Mm-hmm. I'm on judiciary again, and science and tech. Yeah. Science, technology, energy. So I'm on 2 busy committees because we don't have enough people, and one of our reps, I'm ashamed to say, from Merrimack, didn't want to be on a committee, so now I had to take her place.
Wow.
So.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, judiciary was very busy.
Oh, so is that. So it's, yeah, I'm on there.
And I can remember when the 2 terms I was in, other than Ways and Means and Finance, judiciary had the next most bills compared to those 2. It was insane. We had committee twice a week to hear all the bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we do in science tech too. But this is just, everything's different now because COVID changed everything, and we're still not back.
Yeah.
But we have machines all over the whole complex that the machines are air purifying system, and it actually kills COVID. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried. So I even have one in my office.
Boost your immune system. Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah, there was just so many Nancy stories. It was funny.
I remember she hosted all the candidates at her house. So she was living down by the Horseshoe Pond.
Yep.
And that was when I met all the big names.
I was at that same event.
Yeah.
It's when it was before our freshman primary.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember one of her granddaughters was a baby at the time, Michaela, and I just picked her up, and I just borrowed her the rest of the time I was there, and then they made me give her back.
Yeah, no, I was given strict orders. She was, I'm having an event, you will be there. And I said, okay, what's the event? She was, just be there, Lenette. And, you're going to be there all day. Let Eric know you're going to be there all day. And I said, okay, well, what am I going to? And then she was, are you coming? I said, yeah, I'll be there. She was, okay. And then told me it was going to be the end of the year HRA event. And everyone was...
House Republican Alliance.
Yes.
They were the conservative group, but now it's
wishy-washy.
It's not the same. It's
No.
not the same as it used to be.
No, it started changing with our freshman term. It started not being as conservative, not because of us, but there were too many that weren't true conservatives. And it's been going...
Well, it came back for a while.
Yeah,
it depends.
Yeah, it depends on who's in office.
There's other watchdog organizations that are out there, and there's a lot of scorecards. Americans for Prosperity have a scorecard. The Conservative Union. There's so many. Look them all up.
Yeah, back then that was the pink sheet.
Yes, it's still pink.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't have time. I don't have time to look at the pink sheet because I'm the whip, but I also keep track of the debates. So I'm so busy, trying to make sure that everybody's speaking that's supposed to and making sure things run smoothly that I don't have
Now, a lot of people probably don't know what a whip is. What is a whip?
Well, you get out of line and then you get whipped. So, no.
No.
I know a lot of people don't.
No, a lot of people don't know what a whip is.
Well, we keep track of the votes, okay? So let's say it's an important issue. Name an important issue.
Second Amendment.
Okay, there's a gun bill, and they want to take away your guns. So look at the people in our party. I don't deal with the other side. I only deal with our own party. And we know some. Some, I know that they're going to vote the right way. Others, it's like, I don't know how this one's going to vote. So I find out. And I do have a group. Maureen Mooney is my #1 assistant, so she's got a fancy license plate. And then I have 3 others. So there's 4 of us all together. And the 4 of us will find out how they're going to vote. So
you whip the vote.
We whip the vote. Yeah. And don't want to give away any trade secrets.
Yes, no. But that's what a whip is. And people are always, what's a whip? Yeah. And I never got a whip on the show. I had a lobbyist on my show, and people didn't really know what a lobbyist did.
Right. Well, last term they called us floor leaders, and this term the Democrats call themselves floor leaders because they think whip is a word that
it's evil.
It's an evil word.
Shudder.
I don't know. I think it's kind of a fun word. And I remember learning about a government in 5th grade, and we talked about the whip, and I remember hearing about the whip. So
Yeah.
And the Pompeo, this former Secretary of Education, and he was he had another job too in the Trump administration. He was in New Hampshire a couple months ago, and I got to go to a special luncheon. And he knew what the whip was, and he's that's pretty cool. You're with the whip.
Very good. Yeah, Nancy used to get me into. She'd get invited to something. She was Lenette. She was, I need you come with me. I said, I didn't get an invitation to that. Don't worry, you're coming with me. So I got to go to some.
Because there's a lot of little small groups with the big names. I got to see Newt Gingrich in a small group.
Yep.
And then,
yes, so did I.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
it was
we were
cool.
the same one. I had my little son with me. He was 9 at the time.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I remember Nancy brought me to a.
We have 2 minutes left.
Yep, a building in Amherst to meet Mike Huckabee, and it was the house still has the first bank vault in it that was in Amherst.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it was funny. I was standing next to Mike Huckabee, and I had my arm like this, and he was talking to a lady beside me. Well, someone on his campaign took a picture. That picture was on his national newsletter,
Oh,
and
wow, and
Nancy
you're on
got the national newsletter, and my picture was on it. So I quickly made a copy, emailed it to everybody, and said, "Oh, you need to vote for my friend Mike," because it looked like my arm was around him.
Mike and Ike. No, was it Mike and Ike? No, that's Candy.
Yeah, that's Candy.
How can?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But we have a minute and 27 left. Do you want any last words about Nancy?
No, because I'll cry.
Well, if you didn't know Nancy Elliott, you missed a good one. Like I said, she had a smile that could light up a room. Her laugh was contagious, and she was the most compassionate person. She would help anyone. Made sure. And she did.
She did quietly. No one
Yes.
knew. No one knew that the $100 that somebody found on their desk came from her, or that she took her expensive coat out of her closet and gave it to somebody
Yep.
who needed it. She did things like that all the time.
Yeah, and with my campaign, I'd always get something in the mail, and it's like, I knew who it was from, and I'd give her a call. But
And she'd say, "How did you know it was me?"
yeah, well, this was so much fun once again.
Thank you.
Yeah, and folks, it was great being back in Merrimack. Good night, and God bless.